No, Final Fantasy VII Remake is, ironically, not really a remake. Let's talk about it.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy A here, and back with a brand new video. Okay, so we're coming up to the release of the brand new Final Fantasy VII Remake, one of the most anticipated games of the year. I mean, they announced it back in 2015 and we're finally getting it in 2020. There were a lot of complications on the Final Fantasy VII Remake due to the production almost coming to a complete halt when Square Enix decided to break ties with the original team that was working on the game and bring it entirely in-house. But from the start, this game has been marketed as a remake. Over and over again have we heard this. In fact, it is technically the title of the new game. But ironically, it's, well, not really a remake per se. See, remakes and remasters have kind of entered a gray area recently, ever since the concept of simply taking the original game mesh and rebuilding assets off of it. This was done in Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, and even Halo Combat Evolved. Now, companies have bounced these terminologies of remake and remasters all around to the point where people are not really sure what a remaster or a remake is anymore. But I will say, Final Fantasy VII does not exactly fit in either of those simple categories. It is a lot more complicated than that. See, when I look at the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I feel that the term remake makes it way too simplified. There has been so much added to the game that it's actually ridiculous. For example, if you did not know, according to one of the developers of the game, the remake only goes up to the escape from Midgar, which is only from Disc 1. Well, they have crammed over 100 gigabytes worth of gameplay into what was originally only part of a 350 megabyte disc. So the story has been expanded upon so much, it's almost impossible to say that it's been quote-unquote remade. Think about it. Name one project that is on the same scale as the Final Fantasy VII Remake in terms of remakes or comebacks. Name one. There are some that could potentially come close, but in terms of scope and size, not even close. I mean, the game couldn't even fit on the single PS4 Blu-ray disc, and they had to put the rest of the game on a second disc. And this is only part 1. There are very few games that have come out this generation that come even close to the size of what is considered as part 1 for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, not only is the scale much larger than the original, but the gameplay is very different as well. The original DNA of Final Fantasy VII is still in the gameplay, but only very subtly. The original game was turn-based combat with random encounters that would show up and fight you. However, this is not the case in the remake. The remake has set areas of combat where specific characters will come and fight you. On top of that, we changed from turn-based to complete action RPG combat. Remember though, DNA from the original game seeps through and it is manifested in the command menu, allowing you to slow down time and think about what you want to do next with your characters, almost like the turn-based combat. Now some might say it's called a remake because it's based on the same story. Though everything else has changed, the story has stayed exactly the same. And that is where you're wrong. The story is not entirely the same. Sure, the main plot points and same key events are happening, like blowing up the Shinra power plant and Cloud's constant PTSD with Emo One-Winged Angel. More events and more characters are coming in and being introduced. For example, a new mysterious character called Roche, who is a self-proclaimed speed demon. Where did he come from? Is he a soldier from Cloud's past? No one knows yet, but this character was not from the original Final Fantasy VII. But again, we can't discount completely that this is not entirely a remake. The materia system makes a comeback and is generally the same as the original system, along with, like I said, main plot points and characters that happened in the original. So if Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't really a remake, what is it? Not really a reboot, and it sure as heck isn't a remaster, so what? Honestly, due to its scale, size, and difference, it could pass off as a new game completely. However, it has so many ties to the original that you can't ignore them. So the best term that I would say that would fit Final Fantasy VII perfectly would honestly be unique. Even though remakes, remasters, reboots are all in this congealed gray area right now, The one thing that I am certain about is that the Final Fantasy VII Remake does not fit in any of them. Even though it's marketed as a remake, it stands on its own in its own category and could pioneer a new genre of extremely well expanded games from the past that still has the original game's DNA. Imagine Legends of Dragoon remade in the same style. Imagine the original Metal Gear given the epic multi-part treatment. As I said, this could revolutionize the nostalgic remake market, and this multi-part epic could be the beginning of something new for the next generation. But what do you guys think? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below.
A huge thank you to all those who support the channel through Patreon and being a sponsor on the channel. If you'd like to help it out, check out the links in the description below, where you can buy some CGE merch or become a Patreon. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming and nostalgic content. Thank you so much everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video.